Hey, it's Andrew Huang. Today's video is a little different from normal. If you remember, a few months ago, I got together with Rumi and Boy in a Band and Rob Scallon to film a whole bunch of videos. This is the final one of those, and in it, we just wanted to sit down and have a candid chat about our creative process, how we write our music, our struggles, our experiences on YouTube. So there are a lot of deep thoughts, a lot of laughs, a lot of stories. I hope you'll enjoy watching this and, or even just treat it like a podcast. Just leave it on while you're doing the dishes or something. I think it's a really interesting conversation, and I hope you enjoy.
Where do you start with songs?
Often I'll find a song or two that I really like and I'll think, what's my equivalent of that? Mm-hmm. And I'll try and combine different songs together to ensure that I'm not just completely ripping one of them off. I feel like a lot of my best songs are the ones that have been like heavily inspired by another specific song or specific artist. I will recreate the part of the song that I like.
Okay.
And then that will be where I find out what the chord is just by listening, and frequently I'll be like, what the hell is this chord? I have no idea, I've never used this before, so I'll have to try and recreate the original first before I think, okay, that's cool, and now I can take different elements of this that I've learned. And
I definitely agree with that. I feel like that's like the most, it has a higher chance of success.
Yeah.
I have a pretty regular starting point and a pretty reliable starting point. I learned how to play guitar or play drums through writing. Mm-hmm. So if I wanted to learn how to tremolo pick, I would write something with tremolo picking in it, or
and then force yourself to learn it.
Yeah. And because I always felt that if I wrote a song, I could write something that's just a little bit out of my comfort zone. Mm. You know, it's a lot easier to learn that way when you can just take it step by step. So for me, learning a new skill on an instrument and writing are totally intertwined. So if I try to learn a new skill on an instrument, that's usually when I write a new song. Or not just learn a new skill, but learn a new instrument, and that being the new skill.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I got my 8-string, I picked it up and immediately wrote Anchor. And I think that's my favorite song on an 8-string that I've made. And as soon as I got a 9-string, I immediately wrote Envy, which I think is my favorite 9-string song. So those are always just really intertwined. And it ends up with a kind of ridiculous problem where I have a lot of instruments.
So if you were going to write the best album you could possibly make, it would be to buy 12 new instruments. How do you start then with making music?
Yeah, you know what?
I wake up and there's 3 beats there.
It was interesting hearing like the common ways that you guys start, because I think I go about it really differently usually, in that I have like the end goal of a song is always there, and things will happen, and then I'll find ways to like divert them into songs. I think the best example of this is my song Water, where I was just wanting to experiment with water-related sounds, and I ended up rubbing on wine glasses and then making those notes into chords, and then I had a chord progression, and then I was thinking of melodies, and then I was like, well, this is all water stuff, maybe I can come up with like water metaphors, and I came up with some stuff I really liked, and this has become one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and it never would have happened if I hadn't been like putting ice in bowls.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, like, how often you come in with like a vision for what you want to do, and then everything is just tools to do it, because the way you guys talk about it, it sounds a lot like the tools in a way dictate a little bit where the song will go, where maybe a lot of the time I will probably be like, have an idea, and then like the tools are like just like a way to get there more than something.
So you
that's
find different tools rather than working
from
the tools forward.
Yeah, and I think that often like it's easier to get something that sounds really good if you're like let the tools dictate a bit, because when you have like a vision for something, sometimes you just get stuck trying to make that sound that you like wanted, and it won't be there.
I feel like I've set myself up to have a lot of happy accidents, and then at the same time, I think no matter whether I'm starting with a vision or whether I'm starting without one, at some point you have to find a vision or you won't actually like finish it, or I don't know.
How did each of you guys write your most popular songs?
So Pink Fluffy Unicorns is the clear.
Oh, I guess it is.
Popular
you have
for
a
me.
whole video on it.
So I mean, I got a comment with the title when I was asking for song ideas, back when that was like the main thing I did, and the comment was just that title, I believe, in all caps. And immediately I heard this kind of like cute melody, and I was like, I should just make this, and I recorded it in about 20 minutes.
So you didn't really think about it at all, it was just kind of came to you?
Yeah, it came to me, and then I tweaked like a couple notes in the melody because they felt a bit awkward.
You made a video on that.
And I talked about that in the video. But yeah, it just came to me, and I'm pretty sure it was the same day, maybe even the same couple hours I got that comment. I just like went and farted out this song because it was like so funny to me and also so easy. And it's also like it's just one melody looped over and over, so it's not even like a real song.
How about with
It's
the
a meme.
it is essentially.
My most popular original song is Anchor, and I got a comment on it. Similarly, mine came from a comment on a YouTube video too. So I was like, you should try
It's
an
the
H
new
string.
way to write songs, guys.
Wow.
You should try an H string, and it's like, yeah, I should. And I kind of thought the instrument was like a novelty, you know. Like, it'd be fun to mess around with. It would be a cool thing to have in videos. So I bought one, and then as soon as I got it, I decided I got to put it in an open tuning. My favorite open tuning is the open tuning in American Football's Never Meant. So I put it in that, added 2 octaves for the bass, and then I felt I wanted to use its full range. So I just wrote this thing that immediately has the lowest note on it and the highest note, the 24th fret on the high E string.
That's great.
And that's where that came out immediately because I needed to be able to use that
I never
whole
thought
range
about that.
right away.
How big of a jump it immediately is in that song.
Yeah, and then from there on, just exploring the new instrument and the range, I wrote it, almost all of it in the next maybe hour and a half, and then I cleaned it up in the next few days.
That have a wider range?
Well, I wonder what the highest note I play like in Envy is.
Yeah, that might be where you're going wrong.
That's probably I need a wider range. I need to just go straight from
20 hertz to 20,000.
Yeah.
Every song.
Only whales can hear it. Only seagulls can hear it. It was just something you could know. You can't do that with a 6 string. So that's immediately what I went to. Like, what can I do with this new territory? And then it was just really easy. And
So that's a really good way of making something that sounds fresh. Like, because not everyone is playing that instrument, so by doing something that can only be done on that, it makes it stand out.
Yeah, I always found that interesting. So that's where that came from.
That's a cool answer.
That makes me like want to try the edges of like soft synths and stuff and see if I can do something.
Yeah, what the most...
Yeah, something that no one has done before with something like that. Just fuck everything up.
Yeah, that's fun.
What about your...
My most popular song?
Was that Numb?
I don't know if it's Numb. Honestly, I don't keep track of that stuff, but I needed to make a video. And I was like, how do I make this the quickest way possible? And I was also sad. I was a sad boy needing to make a video. And I was like...
Painting this picture.
Album title.
Yeah, I was like, my little
sad boy needing to make a video.
Yeah. I was a sad boy needing to make a video. I was in this like really cheap studio. I find this Vengeance sample pack. I'm like, this will be quick. I have no time to record guitars. This will be good. So I find the sample pack. I go through and I find the chords that sound the best. I think that's my way of doing what you guys talk about a lot, like the making music not from your head, but like from what you have, like when you do. I found the samples that sounded the best in this package, right? I was a bit disappointed in myself for some things. I felt like I was doing a lot with YouTube that felt really like I was just going for the views and whatever. And I was just like, oh, am I, like, what's the motivation behind this? And so that song was just like me writing down in a very simple way, obviously, but like things that I had failed in doing, like throughout, like growing up, kind of thing. And I just felt at that point like I had given up on all my beliefs and everything that I wanted to do.
So you wrote from your heart. Is what you're saying.
I guess that was what I did then, and I had no time to set out to commission or anything like that. Video was going up like literally like in a couple of days, and it was just like really. So
you just knocked that one together. Quite
quickly. I was really sweaty in the studio. You can see that in the video. Like I'm so sweaty and kind of sweaty. Like I have these like crazy eyes. I had no time to reshoot. Like it was just like a really quick experience.
I think most songs have these kind of like humble beginnings. It's not. We get sold this idea that it's like inspiration strikes or like it came to me in a dream. But I think the majority of songs are like we wrote them by committee or like someone gave me an idea. I heard someone say something and it sounded like a good title. Like it's not.
Well, for my most successful one, it just came to me in a dream. I mean,
the lyrics came down to me in a dream.
I actually was working on those lyrics for like half a year to a year.
Yeah.
Like for Don't Stay in School. Like I have 3 times as many lyrics as are in the song. And And like I found a document of them all earlier. Some of them are pretty good, but I went through asking people quite methodically, A/B testing, which of these are the ones that hit you, and then I would include the ones that hit people and get rid of the other ones, and that was how I kind of decided which ones to do. I actually thought the start of that song was really naff. Like, I wasn't taught how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog.
It is kind of...
That is a bit, yeah.
The reason I kept it in is because it's so simple. I thought if I make something stupidly simple and, like, kind of funny...
How many, like, times do you think the word frog has been said angrily?
Well, 15 million at least, apparently. But if I didn't put like that song behind a massive trap beat, I don't think it would have been shared as much. Like I was trying to make something that wasn't too intense, but rhythmically I was playing a lot. Like I picked instruments that I thought were quite wide appealing and that I liked. Like I kind of went for an orchestral build up towards the end. I tend to do that a lot. Like just in general, I like songs that just throughout the song they build up to an intense point where I get to scream. I don't loop things just on their own and like have the same loop playing for too long. Generally, every 4 bars or every 8 bars there'll be something else that comes in, even like a slightly higher version of the same synth or something else, which I feel like again
just keeps it interesting.
Yeah, keeps it growing. Even like the recording, that was like 1 or 2 weeks, and I was going over certain lines and certain words, thinking I haven't got the right intonation on this and whatever. It's like voice acting more than rapping, I feel.
I get that sometimes as well, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very common in pop, though, right? Like doing tons of takes and comping the very best parts.
No, definitely, but like I think many pop singers maybe like sing like they do, and then they choose the best version of themselves. Well, I'm like, I like to do what works for the song. It's like, oh, this song is not right for me and my voice. It's like, then I'll change my voice. It works for the song. I think that's kind of the process for that. It really sounds like you almost wrote Don't Stay in School in committee, but not really, but you did.
I kind of did, because I got so many people's opinions on it.
And also you worked in it for so long that your perspective will have changed over time.
Yeah, definitely.
So
one thing that I do in a lot of rap, which I never used to, and I didn't Don't Stay in School, like I try to make things simpler than I naturally want to. Like I want to make things more complex and cool and over the top. But like I say with that first lyric, I specifically try to dumb things down because I know it makes it catchier. I know it makes for a more entertaining song. And I'm more proud of it in the end because more people like it. Like even though like I might personally like some, so it was all over the place, it sounds really cool, it wouldn't go out to anyone, it wouldn't have an effect on the world, and that's really important to me. Even if I personally wouldn't enjoy the song in the same way, I can enjoy it more because I know it appeals to more people. Don't Stay in School, I get tons of people who are like really appreciative that I brought up that topic because they felt it super strong. Like they're in school thinking they're wasting their life, and then having someone else say it that quite clearly and seeing so many other people agree with it is really validating, I think. And there's a lot of people, like the coolest thing that happened is that song was played in a school which then went on to change their curriculum to educate people on other things. That's something I never thought a song could achieve.
There's an Eminem interview where he talks about learning to write a chorus, and he kind of having his light bulb go off of like, oh, you just kind of have to find a simple way to sum up the message of your song. Because his natural thing is to write the most complicated, amazing, like interwoven, multisyllabic verses. So the chorus writing was a completely new thing for him, and the realization was like, oh, just make it simpler.
That's super funny because like it makes you think. He at one point sat down and thought, how can I sum up this song simply? Shady will fucking kill you.
It's like, pretty much it. So here's a question. If you can like really understand all of these pop like techniques and the architecture of a song, what makes it so difficult to still like write that great song?
It's one of those things where you don't know when it's a hit until like it's a hit. Like Max Martin says that all the time as well. Like it's just kind of like, you know, he knows. A lot of people don't know, but I think Max Martin is really good at knowing when something's a hit. When he wrote Teenage Dream together with a couple other writers, he was like, you know, doesn't like, I wish I could bottle this feeling. He told someone like the top liner girl. She answered, well, what do you mean? What feeling? Like when you've written a hit. And he just knew it, and that's just crazy to me in a way. But yeah, I think if you pull together 30 writers' best songs, and you collaborate on on the best songs, like some are definitely gonna be hits because like I can be like, Rob, write me the best pop song you can do, and like maybe you'll have like 1 or 2 or 3 songs that could be like really good pop songs, right? Or like the same with any of you. But then like how you refine that and like because everything's written in committee now as well, so like it is like engineering in a way, and I think that's best done in big groups of writers for sure. But that's also like the fake thing and like oh my god, there's 30 writers on this Beyonce song or whatever.
Yeah. I could support both sides of it because I feel like I love the like auteur kind of approach that I have had, where it's just like, this is completely me. I did everything from beginning to end, and I'm just sharing like one little vision that I have with everybody. But I also like the idea that if you're like in pursuit of like what's going to be the greatest piece of music, then working with the most or the best people makes more sense than trying to do it on your own.
It took me so long to get into that mindset of maybe I should write something specifically to appeal to a niche rather than trying to make what I like and force it on everyone else.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people say, like, you should write from your heart. It's stupid advice when it comes to starting building an audience.
It really is.
Find the like crossover between what you like and what other people want. Imagine the musicians who just wrote what they liked and then got successful. Like, that must be so rare. Yeah. Like, how egotistical was that? Like,
I think if you do that, your sustainability is really low. At least like within the scene that I am, because like the trends shift so much. So like what's in the pop scene now, at least it's like it's not the same taste as it was 10 years ago.
Like if you started the hot new sound, then
you'd have to.
You are in rocky territory.
Yeah, I think like what was 10 years ago, like Jonas Brothers or something, like rock pop, like Since You've Been Gone and all that stuff, and now it's like that has nothing in common with the stuff that's now, I think. Do you ever feel if you make a bad song, does that affect you and your like self-worth in any way?
When I make a bad song, I'll let you know.
I don't make bad songs. No, I make plenty. In my case, if I make a bad song, it's not necessarily, I failed. It's more so, I can just sit on this until there's some type of project that comes up where some of it would fit. Like maybe a collaboration will come along where I need just a 1.5 minute backing track to put something on, and then I can go to some of the B-sides that aren't that great, and I can pull from that. So I don't usually see it as totally a negative, because I imagine I can get something out of it eventually.
I think I sometimes go into songs and I'm like, I'm gonna show myself like how good I am at writing music, at like a thing, or like I don't know, maybe
probably hype yourself up.
Yeah, like really, like I'm gonna like write my best song or whatever, and then it like turns out a bit bad. You're like, I think there's a stronger ideal for what a pop song is that people who try to make pop music kinda are very aware of, and I feel like if a song isn't what aligns with my framework of what I want in a song, then I don't like it. So like I maybe don't let my ideas go where they want to go, because I don't want them to go there. I want to go somewhere else. So I think that happens quite a lot, and then they usually end up in some like folder that I'll never look in again, probably.
When was the last time you guys all wrote music that was purely what you wanted and nothing to do with
afternoon.
Yeah,
you do that quite frequently.
I
think beats.
I think all the songs I put out. I think I just got really fortunate. I've just been making stuff that I'm interested in for a really long time, and then from doing it so long and having also having luck along the way, I just found an audience that likes the stuff I'm creating. If I somehow didn't do this as a job, but also somehow had a bunch of free time, I'd still be working on the same stuff. It might be formatted a little bit differently. I thought when I started putting out a lot of the stuff now that is a bit more popular on my channel, I thought it would only interest me. Like when I first covered Slayer on banjo, I was like, no one's gonna think this is funny except for me. Yeah,
that's like such a viral concept.
This is a joke that only I will. Well, it's not entirely a joke, but this is something that only I am gonna enjoy.
Wow.
Yeah. I was so wrong.
I also thought there was sure you were thinking, guys, it's time to make the most viral concept possible. Because to me, that's crazy viral.
Yeah. I didn't have any metal on my channel for years. And that was a huge part of my musical education, if you will, was metal and playing distorted guitar. So I I started off thinking I can't pursue that stuff because I need to do this as a job and there isn't a market for metal. And I was just dumb.
Yeah.
I was so wrong.
The past 3 songs I've released have all done really well, but they were things that I really try and engineer a song to be as shareable and relatable and... I'm Not Dead, the last one I did, was slightly different. I suppose that was like the closest thing I've come to recently to making something I want to make.
A lot of people told me that they felt that it was really relatable.
Which is kind of ironic.
Yeah.
Like, I think I said in the lyrics, I was specifically trying not to make it relatable, but I naturally kind of make lyrics that tend to do that now that I've done it so much. I feel like I haven't made the music that I want the world to hear, and enough people haven't heard that yet. Like back when I was in my band, You My Army, I used to make this kind of really intense, like, it sounded like the end of the world. That was how I felt. Like, it sounded like in a positive way, in an intense way. But the production was just terrible. And so, like, it's never been created, like, in a way that I'm proud of. So I feel like at least I want to get that out into the world.
That's interesting. That I think we're in similar places then. We're like, feel like maybe the
Yeah.
stuff that we really want to do we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder what
I
will
still
happen.
feel
once
like
it's
that
done.
too. I mean, I've done a lot that I want to do, but
What's
I
the
feel like
thing
there's
you want?
always more that I want.
Oh, there's just always more for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that YouTube is keeping you from making the stuff you really want to do?
I think there's a lot of ways that it facilitates certain things that I want to do. And then, yeah, there are certain things that it, just because of how much time you have to put into certain things about videos or certain types of videos, it prevents you from doing. I do feel like it would be really valuable, and I'm kind of craving like this, I don't know, 2 or 3 month period that could just be focusing only on exploring and developing something new without the pressure of
Release it.
sharing something every 3 days.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah,
think,
I
you know,
understand that.
is part of the old model, and something that's really valuable from the old model is, you know, taking time away from touring or being in the spotlight or whatever it is, and just like being able to focus only on honing the next piece of work.
For me, my biggest goal was to make music videos. Like, that was the end game. So for me, it's pretty spot on.
That's so cool.
Like when I decided in my own head and didn't tell anyone else that I wanted to be a musician, it was when I found the Primus DVD, Animals Should Not Try to Act Like People, and to my 13-year-old mind, it just completely was like, I'd never seen anyone play those instruments like that before, and I had never seen music videos like that before, and it's like, I want to make music videos. Like, that's the end goal. Like I want to make an album so that
You've achieved your childhood dream.
In that sense, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I get to make music videos for a living. It's pretty cool.
I can understand why you seem so happy.
Yeah. My childhood dream was to biologically create Pikachu, and that's never gonna happen.
But that's the stuff you learn on YouTube, though, what actually people want. I think that's like something that we've all I think we're more in touch with a lot of like people than like anyone else like can be. I think that's one of the coolest things about YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, like seeing how your different content performs and getting a feel for why certain things are more appealing than others.
Definitely. If other music was pushed the way that some pop music is pushed, I wonder if it would do as good or better sometimes.
I think just the fact that the sound of pop has changed so many times, it's like a perfect example of that.
Are you guys proud of most of your work or some of your work? Or?
Yeah, proud of a great deal of it.
Yeah, same.
I'm embarrassed of a great deal of it too.
Same.
The scales are tipping more in favor of the former though lately as I continue to do stuff.
What are you embarrassed of?
I don't know. I think I did the comedy music for too long. I think I started doing it and then it was successful, and then I was like, oh, I'll keep doing this because it's successful rather than thinking about what I would rather be doing. I had like a very sharp pivot to a new direction a few years ago that was just like all serious and as serious as possible. And then, I think I found a better balance now.
Yeah.
Why do you write music?
Money.
It was just so immediate. But there are other ways to make money.
That was what I saw the entire economy and thought this is the most effective, likely career to make the most money.
It's an insane market. Anyone can get in.
You made it work, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I just really like playing guitar. I really like making music. It's so rewarding.
Yeah.
Writing music.
I think that's it for me too. It's like
it's pretty simple.
You have this thing that's like exciting and emotive and interesting, and it came out of your brain and your hands, and it's a real thing now.
Sometimes I feel like I get more of an emotional buzz from music than from relationships.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the most intense emotion I feel sometimes. Not always, but I'd say maybe more consistently from music.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, I don't know, like, evolutionarily how that could possibly make sense. But, like, it's one of the most intense feelings I get. That's probably a large part of it.
I think for the potential of someday somehow making something that I feel like is really, really great, and something like the things that I've loved periodically growing up. Like, and that's why I don't like the stuff that I've done previously as well, because I feel like I would not be satisfied until I've made that like is as good or feels as good as the stuff I really, really loved. And very few songs have survived that over the years to still be like, this is a perfect song kind of thing. But there's a few that have, and I just want that, to make something that's that perfect. Like, the few times I felt like a song is perfect. I want to do that sometime. That would be amazing.
Have you ever deliberately tried to make a difficult, horrible tuning for you to work in just to mess with yourself?
I think so, but that would be. We remember when we did that.
Cabbage thing?
Cabbage, yeah. That was a horrible
Rob
tune.
tuned to CABBAGE, I used the melody CABBAGE.
Yeah, that was fun.
They were both pretty awesome.
I made a song with cabbage, but like that concept like years ago as well.
Did you?
You beat us to it.
Weird.
You need to make a cabbage song.
All of y'all are weird. I don't think I would ever do that because it's like unnecessarily nerdy.
That's like our whole.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. Me and Dave have done a couple of me and Dave have done one collab that is like the cringiest thing in existence.
Only one?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Oh,
I think it's called Revolutionized.
How to revolutionize pop music.
And it's like,
super clickable.
and it's just like us. We're having way too much fun, and none of the humor translates, I think. And we're just like giggling throughout and thinking that it's hysterical. It doesn't translate when you watch a video. You're like,
it's like insanely music producer nerd kind of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of having a build up, we had a build down, and it just got really quiet.
It was just like doing everything like the opposite way.
That's amazing.
It's just like,
well, what was the reaction from producers?
no one saw it. Didn't go anywhere.
There was no reaction.
Well, that's just like what the opposite of a pop song should do.
That's true.
Yeah, so I guess you succeeded.
You revolutionized pop music by making it unpopular.